Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for another video. Today's video is a bit of an out-abouter and I'm also going to be going to see potentially what is going to be the greatest war movie of all time. Now, my expectations are quite high, but the question is, can it live up to this? We shall see. Yeah, so it's Dunkirk that I'm going to see. The reviews that are coming in from all over the internet and the newspapers and reviews are staggering. If I just hold up a newspaper that I've got here that come today, as you can see, 5 stars. Everybody's giving it 5 stars, and those reviews at the top there are totally mind-boggling. So it's definitely going to be worth seeing. But can it be better than Saving Private Ryan? They reckon that it's actually Christopher Nolan's best movie, and then it's the film that his entire career has been moving towards. And they reckon that it's definitely his best of all time, which means it's better than Interstellar and The Dark Knight. That's a hell of a statement. So yeah, so I'll be heading off to the cinema soon, and I'll give you a little review afterwards. And we'll do a little bit of an out about as well. So I'll see you in a little while.
Printing your tickets now.
Welcome to the ticket collection service. Don't forget to go to the details stand. Thank you. Welcome to the ticket booking collection service. Thank you.
Printing your tickets now.
Hey everyone, just got out of seeing Dunkirk. If I had any more skin and nails left on my fingers, I'd still be biting them now. Oh my god, holy shit. That was one hell of a attack on the nerves and on the senses. That is definitely the summer's blockbuster. That is definitely the film of the year. A nerve shredding, nail biting, ass kicking, roller coasting, ass whip. Basically, holy shit. I mean, as people probably know what the story is about anyway. It's about these 400,000 soldiers that are stranded on the beaches of Dunkirk, and they can't get home. Basically, they can't send the destroyers, the warships in because it's too shallow. They can't send the boats in. So they put a call out to like fishermen and all the small boats, and they have to get across the channel and pick these soldiers up. But we see it from several different points of view. We see it from the soldiers from the beach. We also see it from up in the sky with the Spitfires and Tom Hardy. And we also see it from the boats, the small boats, where one of the boats is steered or piloted by Mark Rylance, who does a really good job in this. I mean, some of the scenes, I mean, the cinematography is spectacular. It's very glum, though. It's not as dull and gloomy as Saving Private Ryan, you know, with the sepia and things like that. It does look quite clean, but you get the understanding, you get the feeling that they are stranded, and you are stranded there with them. And when some of the enemy planes come in to like strafe the soldiers that are waiting to get off, there's something about those enemy planes. They're not just enemy planes. They haven't got the sound of enemy planes. They almost sound evil. Well, they are Nazis, but the screaming, eardrum blowing sound of these enemy planes when they come in, you know that they are evil bastards, and that you don't want them there, and they don't want them there. A lot of the cast, I mean, as opposed to Saving Private Ryan, which you know all about Tom Hanks and Matt Damon, and you know these characters, you go with them. The characters in Dunkirk are there. They're just there to do their job. The film is not about the characters. The film is about the situation, is about the evacuation, getting everybody off this beach any way they can. And some of these soldiers do get stuck into peril, and they're doing their best to try and get off these beaches. But some of them just unfortunately end up just, they say, go down with the ship. I did have one concern going into this film, because my one concern was the fact that Harry Styles from One Direction was in this, and I kind of felt, oh no, what have you done, Nolan? Because we know that sometimes when musicians decide they want to have a little go at acting, it always turns out shit. Rihanna in Battleship. What was that? But no, he actually really surprised me. You could go through this film and not be bothered whatsoever. No, he didn't annoy me one bit. He was an annoying character. He was a pretty good actor, actually, so I can see him doing some other stuff. But no, he didn't grate on anything, and he didn't get annoying or I'm Harry Styles from One Direction and all that kind of shit. But no, he was actually really good in this, and I was quite surprised with his ability and the acting, the character that he put into this. So good on him for that. The aerial scenes, which is led by Tom Hardy, are actually spectacular. It's not your usual Hollywood massive explosions and one gunshot and the whole plane blows up, or these really massive sounds of bombs going off in the air and all that. The Spitfire guns are kind of like drilling, and it's probably as they actually sounded. But these Spitfires are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, these are real Spitfires used in the film. I don't know how many Spitfires are left, probably about 3 or 4, maybe in the UK. I don't know how many there are in the world. But yeah, Christopher Nolan used all real boats, all real battleships, and all real Spitfires to make it as authentic as possible. So you're not going to see some CGI Spitfire attacking another German plane or anything like that. Not to my knowledge anyway. Obviously, if there's a bit of a mishap with one of the Spitfires or two, then I should imagine that's just a modelled plane made up, because they're not going to bloody crash a Spitfire into the sea with the remaining 3 that are left. But yeah, Kenneth Branagh is also, he's like the leader of the Navy. He's marooned there at Dunkirk. It's his job to try and get these boats in and to get all the soldiers off the sand and get them out. He does a really good job. As I say, it's not a character-based driven film. It's about the situation and about the perils of war. And this really puts you in the middle. This is a war film. Some scenes actually make you absolutely terrified of what it would actually be like. And this is, I mean, you can't say that you can't say that watching Dunkirk, now you know what it's like to be on the beaches of Dunkirk, because there's no way in hell that it'll come anywhere close. But it is the closest that we could possibly imagine that they would all have to go through without actually being there. So it's the closest you can actually imagine. And even though you're not there and it is a movie, it is a arse kicker on the senses. And you're just riding this whole ride. Christopher Nolan has done a wonderful job. The direction on this is fantastic. The pacing in the movie is fantastic. There's not a boring moment. It switches from one scene to the other. So it switches from like the airborne scenes to the beach scenes, and then it switches to the small boats, and it just carries it perfectly. And you're just riding this whole journey from start to finish. The music by Hans Zimmer, it's not one of these sweeping epics that like John Williams did with Saving Private Ryan. This is also like an attack on the senses. It's not great in music, but it's very dramatic, loud, constant music, you know, that kind of puts you in a situation. It's very nerve-shredding music, but it is the perfect music for this film. You couldn't have strings and quartets and all things like that. There was a little bit at the end, obviously, you know. But one thing also about this film, it's also a love affair. Not that kind of love affair. It's a love affair with the Spitfire. These Spitfire scenes are incredible. And there are scenes, especially towards the end. It's not this type of film, but you would want to just get up and punch the air and say yes. Because some of these scenes, the way that Nolan has shot these scenes, are very emotional and make you fall in love with the Spitfire. It's one hell of a plane. And towards the end, as everything wraps up with, you know, with the airborne scenes, it's just, oh my God, this plane. It's so majestic. It's so graceful. Tom Hardy pushes the shit out of it to get everything he can, even when the fuel is like out. So yeah, it is an amazing plane, and I'm glad that they used real Spitfires rather than mocked up planes or CGI, and I'm glad it wasn't Hollywoodized, you know. I'm glad that it kept true to the spirit of the plane and the amazement of the plane. But yeah, I am so pleased with that. So yeah, Dunkirk, is it my favourite war film of all time? I don't know. Saving Private Ryan always will have a special place in my heart. It is an incredible war film, and it's one of Spielberg's best. Probably Saving Private Ryan will remain up there as my greatest war film of all time, but this comes pretty damn bloody close. Pretty close. But yeah, I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm last night. I was bored. But yeah, this runs real close, so it's just a little notch lower than Saving Private Ryan's quality, but it is still an amazing movie, and you have to see it on the biggest screen you possibly can. Personally, I would have loved to have seen it on a 70mm IMAX, but unfortunately we haven't got one around here, so never mind. But yeah, it is an incredible movie, so definitely go to see it. Whether you're into war films or not, it is one hell of a ride, and it is filmmaking at its best. And this is definitely going to be up there for the Oscars, and I really hope that it gets nominated for Best Film as well. So my review, that's my little review, but I'm going to give this film 5 big Paulies. Yeah, I've now got my own rating system. I bet they're thinking, what the fuck is he doing? What was he on? Has he had too much popcorn? So anyway, yeah, absolutely love this film. So go and see it. 5 big Paulies. Right, I need to go and do something now to calm the shit me down. So I think we'll pop over to B&M and have a look, see if there's any new toys in there and that kind of shit. So I'll see you in a little while. I just stopped off at the American section for the sweets before going down to the toys. We've got some Hershey's and some Reese's cupcakes. Really nice they are, peanut butter. M&M's. Mint M&M's. I've never had mint M&M's, this must be new. I wonder what they taste like. Probably mint. Oh, my favourite Baby Ruth. I was wondering if this would be a good idea for a chair in the summer room, but then I realised my arse will be hanging out of all sides of this. I better not get it. We've got a couple of Spider-Man things here, so let's put in it. This looks like an Etch-a-Sketch type thing. And also down here we've got some funny squishy square looking DC toys. God, I don't know who these are supposed to appeal to. I suppose really youngsters, but what the hell is that? Who's that supposed to be? And we've got some Suicide Squad figures here. So we've got the Joker. Looks like I think they've only got 2. So there must be like excess stock. Yeah, see, they've only got 2 in here. Although this ever. Oh no, they got 3. All right. I'm actually looking for Harley Quinn, but I doubt they'll have a. Nah, don't look like it. Yeah, so just 3 then. Some other little some Batman figures here. So that's quite good. Greg Capullo. Yeah, these are quite good, these are. Yeah, they've only got 2 of these as well, but yeah, they're quite good. And some Iron Man and Captain America.
I told you I don't want to join your super secret club.
And here's another Spider-Man Homecoming section. So they've got all sorts here, figures, choppers. Well, that was quite good. What the hell? Oh my god. That's quite good. Well, that's my attention span gone. A few bits of Despicable Me. Walkie Talkie and a Talking Dave. And a couple of kiddies skateboards. Oh, here we are, Cars 3 section. So I've got quite a few here, like a little remote control car there. Oh, a bit of a bigger one there, that's quite neat. I'm having you at the small DVD section where I showed you those Avengers animated ones the other week. So some clearance stuff here, is anything interesting. Scorpion King, $4.99. What's this? Oh right, okay, 4 movie collection. Scorpion King, Scorpion King 2. Oh, 4 Scorpion King. Well, blimey, I've only ever seen the Scorpion King. I haven't seen the other 3. So it's interesting. I don't know if the other 3 are worth it. Oh yes, and Interstellar, fantastic film. Just popped into Tesco's to do some groceries, so that's my little video for the Dunkirk cinema trip. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye everyone.